Good morning, peer students. It's nice to finally meet you all. Well, you're meeting me. I'm not getting a chance to meet you. Hopefully I'll have a chance to meet you in the very near future, but we don't know what that looks like right now. So I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Smith. I am the principal here at Pierce Middle School. I am into my second year here at Pierce. I also was an assistant principal at Thurston High School a couple of years ago, and I was an administrator in another school district prior to coming back to South Redford. I did teach in South Redford for a number of years at Thurston High School, so I'm very familiar with the school. I'm very familiar with the district, and I sincerely believe in everything that this school and this district is all about. So that's enough about me for now. I do have two daughters in the district, just so you know. So I really do believe in the work that we are doing here. So just so you know, we have a lot of things planned for all of you students this year. This is going to be a phenomenal year. I have a lot of encouragement and excitement about this year. I know that there's a lot that's already happened, a lot of things that have been out of our control with the pandemic, but that has also brought a lot of new opportunities for staff and students alike to be able to do some new things. So we're going to do some new things this year, things for those of you that have been here for a couple of years already. There's some new things that we're going to do, especially when you get back to school. And you already know that school is already different for everyone. School is different. So, so just look forward to the things that we're going to do outside of school, virtually, and the things that we're going to do when students return to school. Now, I just have to start with, we have 4 expectations. I'm going to speak about 2 expectations that we have in this building. So the 2 expectations that I have are, first, it's the golden rule. The number 1 rule for me is the golden rule. And for most of you, you already know it. But the golden rule is to treat everyone like you want to be treated. It's really simple. Treat people how you want to be treated. Speak to them how you want to be spoken to. Act towards them how you want to be reciprocated back, and so forth and so on. So that's the number 1 rule for me. The second rule, which pertains more to when you return back to school, is when an adult in this building asks or tells you to do something, you do it. So that pertains to right now in Zoom. When your teacher requests you do something, you pretty much should do it, unless you physically cannot do it or it is unethical. And if that's the case, then you need to speak with your parent and speak with me or Mr. Hull, who you will meet very soon. So number 1, golden rule, treat how you want to be, treat people how you want to be treated. Number 2, when an adult asks you to do something, you do it. For Zoom sessions right now, many of you are struggling with being responsive when a teacher calls upon you. So if a teacher calls on you and you do not respond, that makes them think that you're, 1, not there, and 2, not engaged. So if they call on you and you do not respond, either audibly or in your video or in the chat, they're going to assume that you're absent. And soon they will probably just have to mark you absent because you're just not there. So you need to be present at all times during your classes. Please do not click on and disappear. If you have to take a break, then you need to make a comment in the chat privately to your teacher that you're stepping away for a moment and that you'll be back, and then then let them know when you return. The next thing for now, I need you to check your emails every day regularly. Please check your emails. I send messages out to parents and staff and students, and the only way that I can communicate with everyone and give the exact same message is through email. So please make sure you check your email. I know many of you checking email is a brand new thing, but it will have to become a habit right now with the way we are doing teaching and learning. So you have to check your email and make sure that you look in your school Gmail and your email for Canvas. Next thing, make sure you are definitely engaged in all of your classes. We talked about this already. Please be engaged in all your classes and do the things that your teachers ask you to do. Next, we have the A-B schedule. So a lot of people ask me, what does this A-B schedule look like? Do I come on A days? Do I come on B days? Well, for you, you come every day. You come and you log into school every day. So every day starts with advisory, right? You click on to advisory by 8:35 and you're engaged with your advisory teacher. And then on A days, you start with your first hour, then second hour, then third hour. And on B days, go to advisory first, then you go to your fourth hour, then your fifth hour, then your sixth hour. That's it. It's real simple. All right. Now, after 12:30, there is time for you to work asynchronously, which means you work on demand, like you do for like your TV shows like Hulu and Netflix and YouTube. You can literally watch a show. In this case, you can watch a lesson or you can do work on demand. So you go into Canvas and you click on your lessons and you watch your lessons and you're active with the lessons that your teachers post on demand. The time before 12:30, from 8:35 until 12:30, is called synchronous time, which is real time, which are your regular TV shows that come on your regular TV, like on cable, where you watch it right when it's coming on. You watch the commercials, you can't fast forward, but you might be able to rewind, right? So that's the 8:35 to 12:30 time is called real time or asynchronous. Then your time after 12:30 is called on demand or asynchronous. I hope that makes sense. The last thing I have for you is your weekly wellness check surveys. Your teachers are going to give out, your advisory teacher is going to share with you a weekly wellness check survey. I will need you to take that survey every Friday afternoon after your 12:30 time. Your teacher is going to share with you your weekly wellness check survey. Every week, every Friday, please take the survey. It gives us information we need to know about you. It's also self-reflective, so you can think about the things that you did this week. You can tell us how you did the week during the week for classes. And if you need to speak with the teacher, then you get to let us know how you're doing socio-emotionally, which means how you're doing outside of school. And if you need to speak with someone, we have a survey there for you in the form, in the survey for you to fill out if you need to speak with the counselor. That's it. So the next person you're going to meet is the great assistant principal of Pierce Middle School. His name is Mr. Hull, Hull, Hull. He's a great guy, and he's already done great work this year, and he did outstanding work last year. Here is Mr. Hull. It's nice to meet you guys.
Hello, everyone. Mr. Hall here. To my returning students, welcome back. And to our new students, welcome aboard. Again, I am Mr. Hall, and I have the pleasure of being your assistant principal here at Pierce Middle School. But before I begin to talk a little bit about me and some expectations within the building, I want to first talk about remote learning etiquette. See, this is a virtual classroom, therefore appropriate classroom behavior is expected. No different if you're in the building or at home. This is a learning facility and an environment, whether it's remote or in person, still we need to respect that. When you prepare to log on to your classrooms, please try to find a quiet, distraction-free place in your home. I know for many it might be difficult. You may have many people in your home, but try to find a place if possible. Also ask you to please keep your audio on mute while you're at home, especially if you have a few other people in the house. We don't want to hear your personal conversations. Raise your hand before you ask a question. That way you can limit the background noise. Let the people in your house know you're live as well. Like you're in class, you're remote, you're learning. It's okay to tell them, hey, I'm in school. Can you quiet it down? You can do that. I'm telling you, you can do that. Distraction free. That's what you're aiming for. Consider using headsets, mics. And if you don't have any for your Chromebook, let us know. We might can find some for you, right? We want to make sure you have all what you need to succeed during this remote learning time. And we also want it to be a nice environment for those other people that are logged on as well. Some other things you need to pay attention to is to close the unneeded applications. I know many of your like you're using your Chromebooks to watch other videos and maybe play a couple games and things. But when it's school time, those things need to be out. Take them off so they're not distracting to you. And it also helps the video quality. Right? When you need to ask the question, use the raise your hand feature. I know many of our teachers have already showed you that. Use the raise your hand feature. This, once again, can help limit background noise. You can tell people, hey, I'm about to ask the question. Maybe they'll quiet down. The teacher will unmute you. You can ask your question and then be muted again, right? Also, like one thing, when you're speaking, let others know when you're finished by saying things like, that's all, or I'm done. And my personal favorite, when I'm on Zoom and I'm done talking, I say thank you, and I'll mute myself. Do that as well. Know when to mute and unmute yourself, and know how to end the conversation with things like I'm done and that's all, or thank you. If you would like to use the chat, I want to remind you that it's public. Like, everyone can see it, unless your teacher has it set up specifically for them to be in a private. You only can chat with them. But it's a record kept of the chats. So be mindful what you put into the chats. I would also advise you to keep paper and pen next to you, some paper to take notes. Teachers are teaching. Like, we're not just talking, we're teaching. And this is not like it's office hours for my returning students of the spring, where they're just talking and seeing how you're doing. They're teaching. You might need to take notes so you'll remember some of the things that's going on. If you have camera capabilities, I'm gonna encourage you to keep turn your video on. Right? We want to see your face. And I'll talk a little bit about that later on. Also want you, when you're doing these Zooms, be mindful of your background lighting. If you have a light shining directly into your computer, that means it's shining directly into the eyes of the other people on the computer as well. So be mindful. And before you come into the Zoom, you can always have a preview and see how things look, how you look as well, and how you will be presented and shown during the video to others. Also, please take care of your personal needs, such as being dressed appropriately, personal hygiene, eating, right? Finishing up conversations with people that's in the house. One thing, we should never see you brushing your teeth on Zoom. We should never see you finishing up your breakfast or lunch, right? We shouldn't. Remember, respect the learning environment. You wouldn't do that in school. You would not do that in school. This is still school. It's just remote, right? We don't want to see you brushing your teeth, washing your face, getting dressed. Find a quiet space in your room, preferably with a wall with nothing on it as your background and back of you, and turn your computers on. Zoom from that way. Take care of everything you need to do. Get ready for school before you open up their Zoom or your Canvas. I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna say please, but I know you're not doing it. Please don't use profanity or inappropriate words or gestures. I'll find you. Take it seriously. All right? But I'm also going to ask you to tell the people in your home that as well. Yes, even though you're a child, it's okay to tell an adult, hey, I'm in school, I'm on Zoom, live, other students and parents and teachers can hear you. Please, no profanity. Watch your language, watch your conversations. I'm in school, I'm live. Sure enough, if you wouldn't want your parent to come up in the middle of the classroom and we were in face saying things or talking about personal business, it's the same right now. So let them know that. They may not be aware, but let them know you're live. They may not know. Also, remember to sign out when you're done. Like, click the leave the meeting video when you're finished, all right? Please remember to do that, all right? This is not a FaceTime with your friend and a TikTok video. This is school, and it's important to respect this learning environment. And I want to really stress that to you. We're learning. We have to keep learning. And although we don't make it mandatory for you to keep your video on, it should be appropriate for you to do a quick video turn on to show your face at minimum when a teacher's taking attendance, right? We're not making it mandatory, but you should. If a teacher calls your name, you should be able to click your video off and say here so they can see your face. As well as if you're answering a question. We want to know you're there, and we want to know who you are. You know, we have teachers right now that know many of your names, but do not know your face. Even though you've been in the building already, they weren't your teacher. They don't know your face. They know your name. They know your voice. They should physically be able to recognize you as well as audibly. How would you feel if you never got a chance to see your teacher? Just heard a person's voice. You don't know how they look. You know nothing. Like, we shouldn't. We're in this business to build relationships and to know one another. So I'm going to ask you and encourage you, hey, at least click your video on when you're doing attendance or asking a question right now. If you do not want to keep your video on, it's also something simple you can do and just text the teacher. Say, hey, I'm here. Is it okay if I keep my video off? Talk with them. You know, it would be an appropriate thing to do. The funny thing is, what I've been noticing is those of you that do not want to have your video on are the main ones that post TikTok and YouTube videos for the world to see. But yet you don't want to turn it on to tell a teacher you're here for attendance. Come on, y'all. Seriously. You know, it's simple. Just be engaged, show your face if you can, and be respectful to your teachers throughout the chat. You know, if you ask the question, you know, try to turn your video on so they can see and hear who you are, right? At minimum, again, once, at least if you're taking attendance, it's quick. I'm here, click off. But speak with your teachers about it, okay? We don't want to see what's going on in your home. Find a good background, quick video, all right? We want to see y'all. We miss you, all right? So, for those of you who do not know me, and for those that do, you know I only ask for 2 responsibilities in peers. Notice I didn't say rules, I said responsibilities. And that's because we want you to be responsible for your own actions. We feel like that's how you learn. We don't want to force you to do something. We want you to know to do the right thing. You're not going to always be with us, but we want to know you're going to do the right things. We want you to grow up to be mature young men and ladies. So these 2 responsibilities are very simple. 1, get good grades. And that means doing your work, being engaged in the class, focused on your learning. All right. 2 is do not disrupt or disturb the learning environment, remotely or in person. And that means respecting others and respecting that they want to learn and they're in the class too. Regardless of how you feel, or if you know something or are interested in knowing something, others are. So respect that they want to learn, respect that they need the teacher to teach them and they want to be engaged. 2 responsibilities. Once again, get good grades and do not disrupt the learning environment. And look, we all know you're still growing and learning. We are as well in this time, you know, especially during this remote time. You know, the teachers are learning. We're learning a lot of these new things. And one of the main things I have to say, we have to do this together. If we all want to make things better, we have to give our best now. I'm going to say it again. We have to give our best if we want to make things better. That's us, teachers, the staff, the parents, and everybody involved in this education process. Keep that in mind. So I want to say thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all throughout the day, remotely. And I want you to know that you're loved, you're cared for, and you're missed. Thank you for your time. This is Mr. Hall signing off. Have a great day.
Mr. Hall, thank you so much for that information on Zoom etiquette and a little bit about yourself. Just so you know, Mr. Hall is an outstanding assistant principal. I am honored to work with him. I am also honored to work with every teacher and everyone on this staff here. Everyone is doing an outstanding job creating a new platform for teaching and learning. And just know that every teacher in this building is working super hard to make sure that you are provided a great education this year. So with that, I just want to sign off. I want to tell you that I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. If we haven't met, just know I already love you. We already love you. Everyone here does everything for and about our students in our school community. So know that you are loved, you are cherished, you are appreciated, and we all cannot wait to meet you in the very near future. Have an outstanding day.